similar presentations about universities. In these types of presentations, it's considered really poor form to make direct comparisons to other UK universities, but, just saying, University of Leeds, it's much wetter on that side of the Pennines. But, you know, I'm getting a little bit off track. You know, what I'm supposed to be talking to you about this morning is, you know, what's Manchester all about? You know, what is it that perhaps differentiates the university from some of the other universities that you're visiting, that you're thinking of applying to? And to begin to answer that question, I think we need to start at the beginning, you know, with the history and heritage of the university and of the city. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the history of the city of Manchester. So we are best known as being the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. So a hugely prosperous city around the turn of the 19th century, when the city was kind of populated by mill owners and factory owners and scientists. All of the economy was based around the production of cotton. That time and those individuals in particular are important because it was them who encouraged the spread of education across the city. So they wanted a way to upskill their workforce, so they created a university. We were founded in 1824, and this is the Whitworth Building, which is one of the original premises of the university here on the Oxford Road. It's directly opposite this building, so you'll see it on your tour today. Over the years, we've also seen a number of groundbreaking achievements here at Manchester. Really hard to do that justice in such a short presentation, but to pick out a couple of examples, the world's first stored program computer was designed and built here at the university in 1948 by these two gentlemen here, Tom Kilburn and Freddie Williams. And there were other computers designed elsewhere around the world at this time, but this was the first machine that had the ability to store its own memory, and that's really the feature that we associate with modern computers today. We've also made really important contributions to civic society. So this is Christabel Pankhurst, who studied here. She graduated with a degree in law in 1906, but she was unable to go on and practice because she was a woman. And instead, she committed her life alongside her mother, Emmeline, to the suffragette movement and for fighting for women's right to vote. And just a tip, as you're kind of moving around campus today, keep an eye out for these blue plaques. So they are on a number of our buildings, and they kind of commemorate the achievements of research and academic staff that have worked here over the years. I'm not going to talk for too long, though, about history. I appreciate you are thinking about joining us as an undergraduate student. You're going to be most interested in what the university has to offer you today. The first thing to say is that we're a very reputable university. We're very highly ranked, both in the UK, but also internationally. We're amongst the top 30 universities in the world. This is our position in the QS World University Rankings, which is a very prestigious league table of universities globally. And we're also a research-intensive university, and over 80% of our research is judged to be internationally excellent or world-leading. And this is a really important feature of the university because it's this research that informs the content of our undergraduate courses, and having this kind of standing internationally, it enables us to go out into the world and recruit the best research staff, the best teaching staff. So if you choose to study here, they are the individuals that you are going to be taught by. Success in this kind of exercise, so that research is judged through a government exercise called the Research Evaluation Framework. All universities are assessed for the quality of their research. And success in that exercise is linked to future funding. So we've been able to secure more funding from the UK government to invest in our campus and in new buildings and new kind of facilities that you'll have the opportunity to see today. And if you want to get a sense of the level of investment, just kind of look around, because we do have some wonderful new and kind of truly world-leading facilities here at Manchester. We are actually coming to the end of a 10-year estates master plan that has seen us invest over that time period £1 billion into the university campus, creating some of the new facilities that you see here on the flyover, a new learning commons, a new engineering campus. We've had redevelopments to our students' union. And you can get, I think, a good perspective from this footage of how some of those new facilities kind of sit side by side with some of the original university premises. You've got this lovely kind of juxtaposition between traditional and kind of modern here at the university. To pick out a couple of examples of that investment, this is our new business school. So the Alliance Manchester Business School reopened shortly before the pandemic, following really significant kind of a rebuild. The building was kind of repurposed. You can see this glass atrium here elevated above the Oxford Road, which houses a new learning commons. We've also built a new engineering campus. And we're very excited that this is actually the first open day that we've been able to showcase this new facility. And again, you can get a sense here, I think, from the slide. So the building immediately to the left is Manchester Aquatic Centre. It's an Olympic-sized swimming pool, completely dwarfed by our new engineering campus. It's the size of 11 football pitches. It houses around 7,000 students, about 1,300 members of staff. This new facility is equipped with world-leading teaching and kind of study spaces, and it's going to completely transform the way that we teach the next generation of engineers here at the university. So we're really excited about showcasing that building today to students that are interested in science and engineering courses. We've also been able to create a lot more green space on campus over the course of the last few years. So you saw from that opening slide, we're very much a city-based university, very close to the city centre. Historically, we've not had a lot of green space, but a few years back, the council took the decision to semi-pedestrianise this part of the city. So the Oxford Road that cuts through the middle of campus, that's now closed to all traffic apart from buses and hackney carriages, taxis. So some of the roads, this is Brunswick Street, it used to be a road, kind of a thoroughfare onto the Oxford Road, but they were no longer needed, so we could close those roads with the permission of the council, re-landscape and create a lot more green space on campus. And this is where we're hosting our student experience exhibition today. So you'll be able to go along and have a look at Brunswick Street. Really well used by our students. They congregate in this space, meet their friends for lunch, and it's just giving you the campus a very different feel. We're able to move around much more freely as a result of this kind of landscaping. Lots of investment on campus, but also up in Fallowfield, which is the site of our university accommodation. It's where we house the majority of our first-year undergraduate students who live in halls of residence. And this is Unsworth Park, which is a new facility. It's around 1,200 rooms in total, all en suite, kind of self-catered. And for those interested in accommodation, there's the opportunity today. We're running bus tours up to Fallowfield. It's a few miles outside of the city centre. It's quite a lot of time out of your day, but you can go and see the accommodation in person, or alternatively, we have an accommodation exhibition, we have talks on campus, so you don't have to get on a bus if there are other things that you want to do with your time today. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a very special connection here at Manchester between research and teaching, and I just want to provide just a very quick example of some of the research that takes place here. The first of which is, this is graphene. So I'm sure some of you will be familiar with graphene, particularly the physicists or the material scientists in the room. Graphene, as you can see from the slide, it's made up of a single layer of carbon atoms. So it's the thinnest and the lightest material known to man. But it's also the strongest, so it's several hundred times stronger than steel. So it's got just some incredible properties. It was isolated by two physicists here at the university who went on to receive the Nobel Prize for Physics for this discovery. And there's a lot of investment into the university at the moment looking at potential commercial applications of this new wonder material, graphene. We are not, though, just about science and engineering. We've got a huge faculty for the humanities here at the university. One example, one research project that always stands out to me is there is a colleague in our School of Arts, Languages and Cultures who is researching how rap lyrics are increasingly being used in trials, particularly in the US, and how those rap lyrics are being used to kind of infer bad character or guilt on the behalf of defendants, and how that has the potential to kind of prejudice criminal trials. So lots of fascinating research taking place across the humanities. And like I said, all feeding into the teaching and learning environment here. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about teaching and learning. The most important thing you will do today is go into academic departments and meet with staff and current students, and they are much better placed than I am to share with you, information about the teaching, the approach to teaching and assessment on the course that you're applying to. There are just a couple of things that I wanted to stress this morning, though. And the first was around how we teach. And this is really to address, I think, a misperception that has arisen, I think largely as a result of the pandemic, that all universities are teaching students online. And I just want to assure you that that is not the case here at the university. We have very much returned to face-to-face teaching, and if you come here, yours will be like an on-campus student experience, and you will be taught in person by academic staff. Now, obviously, over the course of the pandemic, we've developed loads of amazing new digital content. We've launched new digital platforms that supported us with the remote teaching of our students during the pandemic. And a lot of that has been really well received by students. So we want to maintain the best elements of that. We're going to continue to video our lectures and make them available using video capture software. We're going to continue to use Blackboard, a virtual learning environment, all of this new kind of digital content. But the approach is going to be a blended one. You will receive face-to-face teaching on campus through lectures, seminars, tutorials, and then your teaching will be kind of augmented by this new kind of digital content, and you'll effectively get like the best of both worlds. But we are teaching in person, face-to-face. The other kind of program really that I wanted to just highlight this morning was something called Stellify. So this is a program of co-curricular and extracurricular activities that runs in parallel to our undergraduate courses. So all of our students can participate in Stellify, and it's designed to kind of build in them and help them develop skills like leadership, communication, problem-solving skills that they will need when they graduate and go out into the world of work. Stellify, all of the activities within it are kind of optional, so all students' pathway through this kind of program they'll all be slightly different. But there are lots of things that they can get involved in. If you participate in these activities and if you do a set number of hours volunteering whilst you're studying with us, you can graduate with a Stellify award, which is recorded on your degree certificate. But to give you a few examples, these are the kind of characteristics and qualities that we're looking to develop in our students. And some examples of the things that you can do through Stellify: you can study abroad for a single semester or a full academic year. And we have links with hundreds of universities across Europe, but we also have around 95 international partner universities kind of elsewhere in the world. So we've got students studying in Australia and New Zealand and North America, Canada. There's loads of choice if this is something that you're interested in. We're also encouraging students to expand their horizons academically through our University College for Interdisciplinary Learning. So this isn't a physical college, you can't visit it on your campus tour today, but it's a virtual college that offers course units that are available to the vast majority of our students that enable them to study something that's completely unrelated to their undergraduate degree. So to give you an example, if you came here to study biology, through University College you could take an optional, it's usually 10 credit course unit, studying something like artificial intelligence or future cities, or there's loads of choice. But this is something, as a university, we are really committed to. You know, I've spoken about, you know, this incredible environment we have here at Manchester, and we think it would be a real missed opportunity if students come here and just study one thing in isolation of everything else. You know, coming to university should be about exploring your intellectual curiosity and working with students from outside of your kind of subject area, and we're able to create that kind of environment and provide that opportunity through the college. The other element of Stellify is something called Ethical Grand Challenges. So this is a program that all of our students will participate in each year of their undergraduate course that exposes them to some of the big challenges facing the world in the 21st century around sustainability, workplace ethics, and social justice. And this links to a big commitment the university has made to social responsibility. And there's lots of ways in which we can be, you know, a more socially responsible organisation, particularly through our research and things like graphene. But the biggest contribution we can make is actually through our students. Because we are such a big university, over the course of the next 50 to 60 years, we're going to produce about 500,000 graduates. So the beliefs, the behaviours of those graduates, that probably represents the biggest contribution we can make to the creation of a fairer society and a better world. And that's something we are really committed to here at Manchester. We're really keen to recruit students who want to get involved in these kind of programmes and support our efforts to be a more socially responsible organisation. So that's Ethical Grand Challenges, and obviously all of these things are developing employability skills in our graduates who go on and are very successful on graduation. So 94% are in employment or further study 6 months from graduation as a result of us being very heavily targeted by the UK's top 100 graduate employers. Okay, I want to change direction slightly now and talk a little bit about the city of Manchester. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the city, very large, very cosmopolitan city, very large community of students, and a very kind of active music scene. We've got hundreds of venues, music venues across the city, 3 venues here on a campus, so we get some big name bands performing actually here at the university. And it's also a city that is hugely passionate about sport. And I'm sure many of you will recognise this image from outside Old Trafford, Manchester United Stadium. But to give you an example of just how passionate Mancunians are about their sport, I've been delivering this presentation for a number of years. I've always used this slide. And before the pandemic, after one of our Saturday open days, I was actually approached by a gentleman from the audience. I think he was accompanying his daughter at the open day, and he very politely pointed out to me that Manchester United isn't the only football team in the city. And he asked for my email address. I thought it was a bit odd, but he seems like a nice enough guy, no reason not to give it to him. So I gave him my email address. It was a Saturday open day. Came back into the office on Monday morning, and he'd actually emailed me an additional slide for inclusion in my presentation. So, obviously, it's not just football. We're the home of British cycling. We've got the aquatic centre that we saw earlier next to our engineering campus. You know, sport going on right across the university and city all of the time. So is Manchester the right choice for you? You know, that's obviously the decision that you're kind of faced with today. I hope you have a great day, you find out loads about the university, and I hope you feel that, you know, this is somewhere you can fit in, and you perhaps identify with some of the aspirations of the university, perhaps what we're saying around social responsibility and that commitment. And to finish, we've got just a few minutes. I'm going to share with you a very brief video. And it's not your usual university kind of promotional video. Rather, it's a video that was commissioned for the installation of our chancellor, a guy called Lem Cisse. Now, a chancellor at a university, it's like a ceremonial position. So it's supposed to be somebody who embodies the values of that university. And that's especially true of Lem. We're very proud to have him as our chancellor. And Lem is a poet. And I just want to share with you a few of his words in which I think there's a really important message about not just what we're good at as a university and what we stand out for, but what we actually stand for as a university.
Open the dawn in the open sky, the laboratory, open the book, open the challenge with open eyes. Open, out, look. Open all minds, open all dreams, research, question, open all doors, open all senses, open all defenses. Ask, what were these closed for? In the possibilities of light, the nature of trust, the strength of unassailable us. How strong the night lies as light aerates the dark, and atomic dreams multiply from a graphene heart. We who have walked the world in the name of here and where we came from, stand in this great city and say, I belong here. I belong. I bring my past, I bring my future, I bring my rights and I bring my song. I stand atop the University of Manchester. We belong here. We belong.
That's quite profound, isn't it, for a Saturday morning? But, you know, in all seriousness, I end with that because there's a really important message there, I think, about place, about belonging, that I think is very relevant today. And I would like that actually to be the take-home message from this presentation. You know, I've spoken a lot about the university's international standing and our great reputation, and those things are really important. You know, we are an elite university, but we're not an elitist university. And I do hope that you get a sense of that today, of just what a diverse, what an inclusive, what a welcoming university this is. And yeah, when you're going home later today, this evening, I just hope there's no doubt in your mind how welcome you would be if you choose to come and study here. So I am out of time, but thank you very much for your attention and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. If you could exit on either side at the bottom here, our students will direct you. Thank you very much. You can exit on both sides at the bottom. Thank you.